Hello, Venturable Yogis. Jessie Raspiller here, and we are still in the month of April, so we are working on that theme of becoming. Again, this idea, as we mentioned in last week's introduction to this theme, about how we've gone within ourselves through the month of Essence, and now that we have started to see some of our core, we can start to crack open that metaphorical shell from the seed that we've been planting. And so, as we still find ourselves in this very interesting time, some of us have been chatting online about different ways that we can protect ourselves in the sense of not just washing our hands, but also sort of energetically cleansing ourselves so that when we go out into the world, we don't start to pick up on become what everybody else is feeling and sensing. So today I just really wanted to put some tips together for you that when you make your way out into the world, whether it's the grocery store or going on one of your quarantine walks, I wanted to leave you with a sort of a toolkit for how you can leave your house and then come back to it feeling as cleansed as you did when you first left it. So tip number one, first of all, is to be in a good headspace before you go out. Of course, we are going on walks because we might need to depart the situations that we're in and trying to get some fresh air. But see when you walk out the front door, if you can just take a few breaths to sort of clear what it is that you're feeling. Because again, just like we are going out into the world and we're big feelers and we're sensing other people's emotions, we want to do our best as much as we're covering our faces up to not spread germs, to not spread the sort of negative thoughts and emotions that we might be feeling. So see if you can do your best to get into a headspace that first allows you. This isn't always easy, and this might be, again, part of the reason that we're feeling the need to leave the house, but see if you can just shift your vibration a little bit. On a few episodes back in Essence, I talked about getting in touch with our emotions, and this might be a really good video for you to go back and watch so that you can get a few tips to understand where you are and start to recognize how your mood shifts with your emotions. So tip number two is that before you leave, visualize how you want the experience to go. For me, I just went to Trader Joe's. It was my first time to a grocery store in almost 2 weeks, so feeling pretty good about how much stuff I was able to get out of those 2 weeks, and really wanted to make this trip viable so that I don't have to continue to go out into these public spaces when I don't need to. So I checked what time they opened, and then before I went, I took a visual of all the things that I've been hearing of long lines and sensations that it could be a negative experience, and just sort of visualize myself being able to walk up to the front of the line and be let in shortly thereafter. And to my excitement, I was in and out of Trader Joe's within 15 minutes, including the couple minutes wait that I had in line. So again, visualization and sort of putting out there what we hope to receive is always a positive way to do this. And then of course, mantra. You guys know that I love this. And if you want some more information specifically on how I feel mantra can be a positive beacon for us, you can watch the video on mala that I created a few weeks back. But this idea to have a tangible thought that we can come back to, because whether we're standing in a line or we are in a store or we're out on our walk and we're starting to feel the sensations of others, we have our own thoughts to turn back to. Again, what is true to us? And if we can take something as simple as repeating some positive affirmations of I am healthy, I am safe, I am abundant, whatever those might look like for you, just allow yourself to bring a mantra with you as much as you're bringing your grocery list. And then have that to turn to if you start to feel yourself get a little bit anxious. And then tip number four, breathe always. You guys hear me talking about the breath constantly. And it's so interesting to me because it feels like when we're out in a public space, breathing is probably one of the things that we're most scared to do. We're afraid of breathing in this virus right now. And luckily, it seems like most people are wearing masks. And so that's really wonderful that we're doing our best to protect each other. But in order to keep your synergy vibrant and keep your spirits uplifted, the breath is the most important tool. So I really encourage you when you go out to really be mindful about how you're breathing. If you feel that shortness of the breath coming in, check in with yourself and see if you can move and draw that breath down to the lower abdomen. So really get the best bang for your buck when we are breathing here. And then these deeper breaths have a soothing sensation too that can help us with any of the anxiety that's going on. So again, just make sure you've got your mask on. That's going to help protect you from the virus, but please don't stop breathing, because if you stop breathing, then you're going to stop the harmony that's mobilizing within the body to take care of you and to keep your immunity up. And then, of course, when you get back into your car after you've been out in the public, you spritz your hands off with the hand sanitizer or whatever your little cleansing physical ritual looks like. I would love to just share with you a couple of, there's so many different ways to do this. This is the one that really works for me. But again, if we've been out in these public spaces and we sort of feel like, we have the weight of the world of everybody else's feelings on our shoulders, then my suggestion for you and the way that I like to do this is just literally cut ties with that. And it can just be the simple visualization of we're cutting the ties of our connection energetically to other people. There's so much more that I can say on this, but I want to keep this simple for everybody that's listening. So again, there's multiple ways to sort of create this field around ourselves that can clear energy. But for me, it's just as simple as swiping my hand and using a visualization of leaving behind anything that's not serving. So that's simple. And then, of course, when you get back home, as you're walking in your chore, just imagine yourself leaving everything behind. Again, visualization is wonderful and just starts to start changing our mindset. And then my favorite little tip for all of us hippies out there is a good sage cleansing. So I've been doing this at least a couple times a week. Typically, I've only on a regular basis done this a few times a month, maybe once a week on a regular basis. But if we have sage or even Palo Santo or just something that kind of burns the white smoke is not only cleansing in the energetic sense, but it's also a really great antibacterial to sort of help cleanse your space in all the ways. And when you do this, do so very mindfully. Again, you can set an intention. I love to walk around my home. You can get a nice shell to keep the ash and any little sparks that might ignite along the way. And I just run it along all the corners of my house and trace the walls of my home. And I just visualize each room, what I want to positively put into that. So again, I'm in my yoga space. For here, I usually just bring in a sensation of healing and positive energy. For my bedroom, that idea of love and light and good rest. For my kitchen, it's always nourishment. My living room, I always bring in the thoughts of laughter and good times, or whatever affirmations you want to put on that. So again, another cool clearing tip, and of course, tracing around your doors. You can trace around yourself ever so cautiously, just to again kind of cleanse your space. So I hope that you guys find these tips useful. These are things that I myself am being even more intentional than I normally am with these sort of cleansing and purifying practices. If you guys have any questions or would like me to go more deeply into maybe a clearing practice or an affirmation practice, then just send me a note on our Venture Well Yoga handle on Instagram. But we'll continue to keep some tips coming for you guys, and make sure you're subscribed to this page so that you get those notifications when they come out. In the meantime, life is a beautiful, and as we know, a very crazy journey. But I hope you guys are out there venturing well and safely.